The BBC has been under massive fire recently due to the lack of impartiality after what the Telegraph had discovered about their reporting with a doctored Donald Trump speech, which I will cover into tomorrow's video, along with the resignation of Tim Davie. To make matters worse for them, though, they doubled down by upholding impartiality complaints made against BBC newsreader Martine Croxall, all because she made a slight facial expression 4 months ago. And this really has to stop, this BBC hypocrisy. Hello and welcome back to Chat About It, Don't Shout About It with me, Rachel, the Queen of the Woke, as crowned by one of my haters.
I crown you Queen of the Woke!
Let's chat about it. Please do let me know what you think about the scandals involving the BBC in the comments section below, and please do keep it friendly in the chat. Now, 4 months ago, newsreader Martine Croxall was reporting on heat waves when she was made to read pregnant people, which then she changed to women. In the clip that I have for you, she makes a slight facial expression. Let me show you right here.
of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine has released research which says that nearly 600 heat-related deaths are expected in the UK. Malcolm Mystery, who was involved in the research, says that the aged, pregnant people, women, and those with pre-existing health conditions need to take precautions.
I originally reported on this with Brendan on the Sensesphere for our woke show. There was a significant amount of praise for Martine for doing this at the time. However, there were complaints made about Martine, and she was suspended pending an investigation against her. Now, if you do not know, then let me fill you in. The BBC has an impartiality clause, and Martine is required to read the script as it is with no personal view offered. You will see for yourself in that clip that is what she did, and then she changed it to women. She was reading it, and then she slowed down, read pregnant people, and changed it, which is a biological fact. The BBC did decide that Martine had broken the rules after the investigation, and this was taken from the BBC website. Martine Croxall broke rules over pregnant people facial expression, BBC says. The BBC upheld 20 impartiality complaints over the way presenter Martine Croxall altered a script while she was reading a live on the BBC News channel, which referred to pregnant people earlier this year. It was 4 months ago now at this time of recording. Croxall was introducing an interview about research on group risks most at risk during UK heat waves, which quoted a release from the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. The presenter changed the script to instead say women, and the BBC's Executive Complaints Unit, ECU, said it considered her facial expression as she gave the strong impression of expressing a personal view on a controversial matter. The presenter said Malcolm Mystery, who was involved in the research, says that the aged, pregnant people, women, and those with pre-existing health conditions need to take precautions. The ECU said it considered Croxall's facial expression laid it open to the interpretation that it indicated a particular viewpoint in controversies currently surrounding trans identity. Following Croxall's introduction, Dr. Mystery, an assistant professor at the LSHTM, spoke about the story and referred to pregnant women. Okay, that makes sense. The ECU said Croxall's facial expression after she said pregnant people had been variously interpreted by complaints as showing disgust, ridicule, contempt, and or exasperation. I would say that the last one is probably the most likely should you take anything from her facial expression. Now, they upheld 20 complaints, and I am sure that there are more likely to be more. However, this article also mentions the fact that Dr. Mystery says pregnant women. So my question to the BBC is, who wrote this script for Martine? And are they being upheld to the impartiality standard that you have as well? I've been looking for this entire news segment, but I can't find it. Surely, if Dr. Mystery has said pregnant women, then the person responsible for writing this should be required to write what he stated. You would think so, wouldn't you? Plus, not only that, It is a biological fact. When you look at ideologies and the demographics of the world, how many people will actually truly know the ins and outs of gender neutral language in comparison to what we see online or in social media? A lot of people don't have social media. The number would be far greater, wouldn't it? I think what Martine did, even if the facial expression was considered a view by the BBC and the ECU, which probably saved them from a mass complaint versus the ones that they had received. It's better to receive 400 odd complaints where 20 were upheld instead of 40,000 complaints and it having to go off to Ofcom for them to make a decision. At the end of the day, also, how many biological men do we know that can give birth? Zero. I'd be deeply concerned if they could. She made the right decision, in my opinion, to change it. Should she be fired? Well, no, she can't be fired from this. In fact, she's already returned to work. If she had been fired over a facial expression and changing people to women, then she would have grounds to take the BBC to court for discrimination and sue them. This relates to the laws surrounding gender critical views at work. I recommend reading about Maya Forstater. Gender critical views protected at work, they are protected. And even with the facial expression, it could fall under that. She wasn't going out of her way to harass trans people. She went out of her way to ensure that what she was reading was factually correct, even without saying so. Now, let me know what you think. Please do check out some of the other content that I have picked out for you. I will be covering Donald Trump and Tim Davie. So remember, please do chat about it. Don't shout about it. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching today. Don't forget you can join me on my other platforms as well. I've got YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, X, TikTok, Instagram, Locals, Substack, and I also have a Discord. Everything is linked below.